Okay, well, for more, we are now being joined by Adele Nazarian from Washington, D.C. Adele is a senior media fellow at Gold Institute for International Strategy. Adele, great to see you and welcome back. So, President Biden aimed to present this defiant political tone. The question is, did he successfully address the concerns of moderate voters, or did his speech reinforce the perception of a deeply divided government?
It's great to be on with you again. What a night. I think that he definitely was catering more towards the progressive wing and definitely the Democrat base, certainly not to a Republican base. And I'd say probably a little bit more so, but not enough towards a moderate base. This was not really a State of the Union, in my opinion. It was kind of like a nomination from the DNC. It was interesting. It was a complete attack on his opponents. It was basically a takedown of Republican issues. Instead of addressing the real concerns of everyday American voters. It's great to be emotional. It's great to be fired up. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is what's going to impact and move the needle when it comes to, as you said, moderate voters. And I don't believe that is what was presented during last night's State of the Union.
Yeah, what a night it was. So by repeatedly criticizing his predecessor and likely opponent, Donald Trump, did Biden effectively contrast his own leadership style and policy priorities? Is saying I'm not Trump enough? And did this approach come across as overly negative and, as you mentioned, campaign focused perhaps, rather than a genuine attempt to unite the country and address pressing issues?
Well, I think that he definitely was taking aim at Trump. I think that's better for Trump, honestly. It definitely shows that it's game on. It's between the two of them. At the end of the day, though, I have to say he when it comes down to the issues, and this is something that I'm sure you've seen yourself, correct me if I'm wrong. My parents were immigrants. They came when they were 12 and 15, of course, from a different country, from Iran to America. But, you have so many immigrants who come to the country legally, for example, and they put blood, sweat, and tears. They do the right thing. They're taking the time. They're putting their life savings oftentimes to do the process correctly. And here he is going ahead and saying he refused to demonize immigrants, and he criticized Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric. He's not an anti-immigrant, he actually wants legal immigration. And you'll talk to everyday immigrants who have come to the country legally, to America legally, and every day they'll tell you, I've myself spoken to them countless times, that they don't agree. They think it's undermining their rights when illegals, people coming to the country illegally, are given more rights than they do. They're treated like second-class citizens, essentially, the ones who come here legally. That's one thing. In terms of saying he's not Trump enough, two significantly different styles of communication. I think last night was not typical of Joe Biden. I think he definitely was pushing to have more fire in his belly, to think that would be what his advisors probably told him, to appeal to the moderates and to the Republican base. That's not how it works. You either got it and you don't. President Biden has a certain skill set. Donald Trump has a certain skill set. You look at his interviews since he was even, in his 30s, how he's been consistent with what he actually believes in. And, Americans aren't stupid at the end of the day. They're going to see when someone's trying to play a role in order to appease them. And what they care about at the end of the day is the prices of prescription drugs, of course. They're going to care about their safety and security, the cost of living. And the economy is not in the best place right now. And these wars abroad certainly aren't helping to add, to take away from that equation.
Yeah, so well said. So well said, Adele. That's very true. And the American voters across the world, really, during election times, they are so nuanced and so savvy when it comes to watching their leaders. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I guess this is what it means to have probably the longest general election in our contemporary history. We'll see how this pans out. Great to talk to you as always, and have a great weekend.
Great to speak with you as well. Thank you so much.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.